Yes, y'all. Last night, it's Saturday now, was a big card in Glasgow where you had the three fights. I know there's a few others, but we'll just talk about the three. There was Scott Cardle v Hooper, there was Dillian White v Lewison, and there was Ricky Burns v Relic. So we'll talk about the Scott Cardle one first. Cardle v Hooper. Now, Cardle did that Hooper. You could tell from round one that he was a sparring partner. He sparred Cardle before. Cardle knew from the off that this guy did not have any power to test him, and he was just that's why Cardle boxed the way he did last night. Now, me personally, I don't like. I'm not a big fan of Cardle. I think he's sort of all right. He just does everything all right, doesn't he? He doesn't really do anything brilliantly. He seems to bounce up and down a lot. You watch him and he bounces, and that's something I don't particularly like in a boxer. I don't think you know, he generates the power from planting his feet and landing shots. And I know he got the stoppage last night, and it was a good stoppage. But you look at him in previous fights, like the Masha fight, where he struggled, and if you watch him, he bounces, and then when it comes to land his feet, he's not generated the shot power that he should be doing because his whole feet aren't planted. And there's probably people listening to this that are going, sports guy, what are you talking about? But that's just my opinion. He got the win, and then they talked about him fighting Luke Campbell or Derry Matthews afterwards. And for me, I think if he fights Campbell or Matthews, I think that's a great fight. I'm looking forward to that next week. But I think if he fights one of them two, he ain't holding on to that Lonsdale belt, and I can't see Cardle fighting Matthews or Campbell when he only needs one more defence of that title to keep hold of that belt. Level wise, I think Cardle again showed last night he's probably European level, isn't he? You put him in there with some of the big boys, the Flanagans and Crawlers and people like that. You're having different conversation. He's just not that level, is he? Not, for me, he doesn't even enter the conversation. He might fight someone down the line that gets the win over a Flanagan or someone like that. But at the minute, for me, European level. So that was that one. Scotty Cardle did what I expected him to do. Then we move on to the two big boys, Lewison and Dillian White. Now, I thought White looked all right. He showed what a chin he's got. Lewison showed he's got a chin. I'm going to have a bit of a rant around Lewison because I get irritated when you've got someone. He's obviously got skill. He's got a great jaw, great chin, but he just doesn't he can't be arsed with boxing, can he? Last night, you look at Lewison last night, and the biggest fight of his career, and I know he was only given a 5-week camp, but it was embarrassing. He looked so fat, he looked out of shape. He looked like he was just a punching bag for White, when he didn't really test White any time. My only disappointment for White is, I think, if he really wants to fight at world level, I ask myself, would Klitschko, Fury, Joshua, Hay, Wilder, Povetkin, all these boys, what would they have done with Lewison? And I think most of them would have put him away inside 2 or 3 rounds. He was there to be it. He was low guard. But at the same time, White got the win, and he did what he had to do. He set up the fight with Chisora next, which I don't know. That'll be another fight similar to that. I think Chisora is a spent force now that's just after a payday. And I like Dell. I think no disrespect to him, he'd probably say the same. He wants the big fights so we can get a bit of cash in. White, on the other hand, I don't know. I can't figure out what I think of him. I think Joshua exposed him, and people talk about shoulder injury and fitness and all that. Joshua was Joshua was beating him to the punch every time. Combinations were working, footwork, and I watched Whyte last night, and similar to what I said to Cardle, then the opposite is Whyte doesn't move his feet. And he might have just been doing it last night, but his feet was planted all the time. And I just think you come up against someone like Hay, Fury, Wilder, that the top level, the elite level, and you're gonna get found out. They're gonna pounce on that. They're gonna move around you. But it's a win for Whyte, and he moves onwards and upwards. And then we had the final one, which was Burns v Relic. Now, I said before this fight, if you check my Twitter feed, I think Relic will KO Burns. I sent that tweet just before the fight started, and I wasn't far off. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I wasn't far off. I thought Relic came out the first 2 rounds, and it was almost a similar style to Cardle, but a bit more active and powerful, where bouncing around, he was very active. It was almost like a mix of Cardle and Crawler, where he was bang, 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 bang all the time, and Burns didn't know how to deal with that to start with. And then I thought 3-4 onwards, Burns started to box off the back foot. He used that jab, he was popping that jab out, and he almost broke Relic's heart in the middle round a little bit. And unfortunately for Ricky, is that what he did was he did all the work that he needed to in the middle round with that jab, bang, bang, bang all the time. And I felt at that stage, maybe you could probably say 4-10, maybe 4 to the start. Yeah, let's say 4-9. I thought Burns' class showed, and I thought Relic almost looked a little sloppy in his work at times. Even though you're throwing lots of shots, not a lot of them were landing. There was a lot of helicopter punches, aeroplane, were they? So it wasn't as, the classier work was Burns. And then 10, 11, and 12, Relic came to life. He hit Burns with a body shot, and then caught him on the top of the head a couple of times. And I thought in 11, I thought Burns was gone. There was a bit where he was up against the ropes, and he looked like he'd gone. But as champions do, he came back, and 12. I thought Burns did the classier work in 12, but it was one of them split 'em rounds. And for me, at the end of it, I probably had Burns around maybe 2 up. How someone gave it 118, 110, I don't know. I don't know what was going on with the judging there, but they gave it, and in the end, the other 2 judges gave it probably similar to what I did. So I think Burns was the deserved winner. That Relic will definitely come again. I think if Hatton can almost work on a strategy with him where he works on them, the 4 to round 7, 8, 9. If he could really work on his strategy during them rounds, all of a sudden you've got yourself a hell of a fighter, because he's tough, he's powerful. But that's that. Burns got the win, so that's that card last night. It was an enjoyable night of boxing. So I've got the Liverpool card coming up, which I'll do a video on later in the week, my prediction video. I didn't do one for this card. I might even go to the card and do a day in the life of, but we'll see on that yet. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment bad or good, and I'll catch up with you all soon.